Hi guys, and welcome along to the webinar tonight. I'm Amy Holland. If you've not met me before, I know we've got loads of new faces along tonight, and I have the fabulous AJ with me, who I will introduce shortly. You guys are going to get fabulous information, a fabulous insight, and wonderful hints and tips as we go through tonight. But before we get into all of that excitement, can I just ask you to pop a quick message in the chat window, just so I know you can hear me? Fabulous. We've got loads of chat going on. Love that, guys. If you could just let me know that the audio and visual is coming through okay, that would be fantastic. I don't want to get us into the webinar without that. So, AJ, hi.
Hey, Amy, how's it going? How is everyone else doing? I'm so honored to be here.
It's fab. Thank you for agreeing to be here. We're honored to have you. I think the guys are just deciding what they're drinking while the webinar's on tonight. So there's a few coffees and waters going on.
Yeah, I can see in the chat box. Nice. Yeah, I'm here in New York, so it's about 3 p.m. in the afternoon.
Too early for whiskey, then.
Yeah, I have my green tea over here, and I'm curious if you could pick up my New York accent from where you guys are.
It's a gorgeous accent, if I can say so myself.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's good to see everyone on the line. Cool. I'm really glad to just share, my whole passion, my business model. I mean, something that, it took me many years to build up. So really excited.
And we're looking forward to hearing all about it. I guess just to give you some introduction to AJ, because he is from over the pond, and many of you won't have met him face to face, is the author of the best-selling book, The Mind-Body Solution, Training Your Brain for Permanent Weight Loss, where he proves that the key to a better body that's in shape, energized, and youthful is a healthy brain. And having just started my fitness journey again myself personally, I can totally relate to that, and I know a lot of the guys on the webinar will be able to as well. AJ is a fitness professional, but he's a master's in psychology, and he's been featured in the Huffington Post, Men's Fitness, on bodybuilding.com, and is a keynote speaker at various events. So we are honoured to have you here and to be sharing with the VIPs and with some of our guests who are along for the first time tonight. So welcome if this is your first webinar you've ever had with us, guys. It's great to have you on board. So AJ changes the lives of the general public, but he's also dedicated to helping fit pros create ethical and profitable online income with his own 10 times online fitness coaching program. And we're going to be hearing more about that later on. You guys are welcome to ask questions as we go through. I have put in the comments box, but this is interactive. We want to know what you need to know. If there's a burning question, something you absolutely have to have answered today, now is your chance to get that question out there and just figure out what you need to know to get your business moving to the next level, because that's what all this is about. So, without further ado, AJ, do you want to tell us how you got started in all of this? Where did it all come from? You were a young boy, you still are a young man, but how did all this happen for you?
Yeah, sure, Amy. So, I've been in the fitness industry for about 12 years, and I started off as a one-on-one personal trainer. I'll go even farther back. I was an overweight, chubby kid most of my life. I had big chipmunk cheeks, man boobs, a big old belly, and I was 60 pounds overweight at my heaviest. And that made me just really depressed and insecure with my body. And for the longest time, I knew I had to get into shape, but I never had the motivation. I really didn't play a lot of sports growing up. And it wasn't until I was in my early 20s where I hit rock bottom, just this point of being miserable, being unhappy with how I look, lacking confidence. And I said, enough is enough. I can't live like this anymore. So my heaviest, when I was 60 pounds overweight, I decided to get myself into shape. And that's when my life literally changed. I hired a personal trainer and I understood nutrition. And at the time, I started really struggling with it initially, but then I realized the harder I work, the better I looked. So then I really devoted my life. Like I have a very extreme mentality. I was extremely lazy and overweight, and then went to the other extreme and went into health and fitness and bettering myself. And that's when I just devoted my life to just studying fitness and really understanding the ins and outs of it. And at the time, I started personal training, and you know, I just worked at a corporate gym. I really didn't know what I was doing, and it was really just being lost because I was at this gym. And you know, here in the States, I'm sure it's like that in the UK as well, where they have corporate gyms. They just stuff it with a bunch of trainers, and they don't teach us any type of skills of sales or marketing. So we're kind of just left out there fending for ourselves. And I really struggled with my business initially because I had such a passion for getting people in shape. You know, I lost 60 pounds, and, you know, I really just loved everything about nutrition and exercise, but I was not getting clients. And it wasn't until like I decided to, you know, branch off on my own and took a big risk to kind of rent out some space and start my own business. And that led me to really understanding like I need to become a better trainer. So I just focused on getting my clients results, and based on that and having referrals, I started to build up my clientele. And then I went to college to major in exercise science and nutrition to get deeper into it. I read like everything I could about the actual aspects of transforming a person's body, but I had no clue about the business or how to market myself. I didn't even have a website. Everything was based on referrals. So as my one-on-one business grew, that's when I started to gain more confidence and I started to get more clients. But then the economy took a really bad downturn, and I lost a lot of my clients, and I was really in a bad place because I was renting out the space, and I had expenses, but at the same time, I wasn't getting the clients coming in. So there were just many months when I was really struggling financially. I didn't know what to do, and I was completely lost about growing my business. And I remember at the time when I was struggling and I was trying to keep my head above the water, I met a friend who started like a fitness boot camp, and he was like really just, you know, passionate about his boot camp. He had all these clients and had a website up, and, you know, he really knew what he was doing. And I was like, hey, listen, you know, how did you start a boot camp and how did you start a website? And he was like, listen, dude, I really started to study fitness marketing. And I was like, what's fitness marketing? I was like clueless at the time. And he was like, you got to go on Google, just Google fitness marketing and read everything you can about it. And the extreme mentality kicked back in, where I just studied everything I could about marketing. This world just like blew me away. There were trainers who were making 6 figures, 7 figures, had hundreds of clients, had these big established businesses and boot camps and group training programs. And I was like, wow, I want to have this as well. And that's when I really started to just devote my entire life. I stopped training like the physiology of nutrition and exercise, and I devoted everything to understanding marketing, and not just any type of marketing, direct response marketing, which is very, very powerful. You know, if you're not familiar with direct response marketing, it's like marketing for a small business to get a specific response at a specific time. And I'll get more into it later on in this presentation, but just by getting a website up and doing like search engine optimization, having better systems, I really started to build my business back up. I wasn't struggling, I wasn't broke. And it came to the point where I realized the power of really investing in myself, you know, because when I got into the world of marketing, I started hiring mentors and I started getting different coaches. And that was what really turned my life around, because when I was trying to do everything myself, I was struggling because a lot of times I'd get so much information, I would have analysis paralysis. I don't know what to do. So I had all these options and I wasn't taking action. But having a coach, investing in people, made me realize like, wow, I'm giving this person money to hold me accountable. And a lot of the stuff that he's telling me, I know already, but it really inspired me into action. So that was like something that allowed me to really improve my income. And over the years, I just really devoted a lot into investing in myself. And then around 2012 is like when my personal training business really got to the point where understanding marketing and filling up my clientele, I increased my client load to the point where I was getting up at 5 a.m. and working until 10 p.m. back-to-back sessions. And I was really just burnt out. You know, I was at a point where like, wow, you know, I'm happy with the amount of money that I'm making, but I'm working like crazy. You know, I'm not spending time with my friends or my family. I didn't go on vacation for like 10 years because I was hustling so much to market myself, build my business, shoot videos. You know, I'd work like 60 hours in my business, then another like 30 hours on my business, you know, doing all the website stuff and, you know, selling clients and just staying on top of like my videos and all that stuff. And I got really burnt out to the point where like I was really struggling with my health. I wasn't training myself. I was eating like crap. And I was really destroying a lot of the relationships. You know, I was really burnt out because I was hustling so much. Even though I was making a lot of money, I was not happy. I was not fulfilled. So at the time, I decided that, like, you know, I really need to get into online personal training because that was the only thing I knew for many, many years. You know, I said 12 years being a fitness professional, just doing one-on-one. And then I started group training. But at the same time, it was still the hours for dollars mentality, you know. And I said to myself, I'm getting older and I'm really depleting my relationships, my happiness, my own health, and I need to find a better way. And I knew that if I stayed on this path, I was going to be a personal trainer till I was like 60 years old, you know, because I didn't know anything better. And that was my biggest fear because this is the only skill set I had, personal training. So I said, I cannot retire because this is the only thing I could do. So I said, if I don't make changes now, then I'm going to suffer for a very, very long time. So at the point where I got burnt out the most, I said, you know, 2013, I'm going to invest all I can into basically understanding online marketing, online personal training, and really taking my business and making it more leverageable, you know? And that's when, again, I said, investing in myself, hiring the best coaches, the best mentors. I joined this amazing mastermind in the US. It's called the 25K group. And it's this really high level, like, entrepreneurial mastermind. And it's called the 25K group because you pay $25,000 a year to be in it, you know? And at the time, that was a lot of money. It was like, oh my God, you know, I'm paying so much money to be in this group. But I knew, because if I invest in myself, I'm going to do whatever it takes to make my investment back, right? So it's like, if you pay a lot of money, you pay a lot of attention. And that was my philosophy into things. And being in that group, it allowed me to be around some really heavy hitters and really influential people that had these big, profound online businesses. And being in a mastermind, you know, you're paying to network with people and share information. And a lot of people in the group really helped me out to, like, develop my systems and build my business. In like January 2013 is when I said, you know what, I'm going to take a big drop of money. I'm going to reduce my personal training hours in half, but I'm going to focus more on building my online business, you know? And just like when I was building my personal training business, it was a struggle at first because I had a lot of limiting beliefs. I had a lot of limiting beliefs that, you know, people are not going to value me online as they would in person. How am I going to keep my clients accountable if I don't see them? You know, I'm going to have an issue with retention. So all the same questions you might have with starting an online personal training business, I had at the time as well. But again, there's always a solution, right? There's always a way, because I realized there were people that were making 6-7 figures with online personal training. And why was I not doing it, right? So that's when I really started to just, you know, trial and test different things. Because at first I just started doing like Skype coaching, you know, and I was really seeing myself doing the same thing as personal training, because I would do like the Skype session. And I'm like, that's still trading hours for dollars. How can I build up something more leveraged? You know, then over time, I started to like test out different systems, test out different marketing. And I came to realize that any type of business requires 3 pillars to grow. And this was what really changed my life. Understanding the 3 pillars of business growth, whether it's an offline business or an online business. Now, the first pillar is attracting clients, lead generation, right? So how can I attract online clients to want to work with me? The second one is converting those leads into customers. So how can I sell my services and convert them at a higher rate so I could have more online clients in a consistent manner? And the third one, and the most important one that comes with an online business, is delivery. How can I deliver a leveraged model that is really going to serve my clients on a larger scale, but at the same time give me a lot of freedom, right? Because in 2012, I was burnt out. I was like, I'm not going to have a business that I'm working 80 hours a week, that I'm really sacrificing aspects of my time, my life, my health. I need to build something that I could leverage, but also I want to go on vacation. I want to be in a place where, you know, I could have a family and do different things. I don't want to be stuck inside of a gym my entire life. So that's when I just broke down those 3 pieces. How can I build a consistent lead generation system to build online clientele? How can I sell myself in a way that converts very high that I can leverage? And then, of course, how can I build an online virtual infrastructure that's going to serve my clients in a higher way that I don't have to trade hours for dollars, right? Because I realized in my 12 years, I've developed skills and capabilities that I can now put into a, I guess, canon clonable type of system, a delivery system that serves people all my best information, but I don't have to physically be there to do it. And, you know, around that time, like all these different apps and technologies came out that made that happen. So basically, very quickly, I got to put these systems in play through trial and error. And I finally got it to the point where I was getting consistent leads of online clients. I was converting them with a lot of different ways. And then I was putting them to a virtual infrastructure. Now, I'll get into little basics of my 3 pillars so you can get a good idea of how I get my clients, how I sell them, and how I serve them. And, you know, pretty much with lead generation, there's a lot of different ways you could do it. The best ways are, of course, online methods, because, you know, when you have the ability to train clients outside of your local area, I have clients that are international in the UK, Australia, Canada, Mexico. Now I don't have to be just marketing locally. I could use the internet. And one of the best ways is, you know, both paid traffic and organic traffic. Okay. So paid traffic is like, let's say, for example, if you're buying Facebook ads, Google ads, LinkedIn, any type of pay per click type of advertising where you're paying to get traffic to go to your website. And organic is basically if you're doing like search engine optimization, if you're trying to like rank keywords, or if you're doing stuff from your personal Facebook page or Instagram, right? Email marketing is more organic. So realizing that with lead generation, you have to find the best that works for your personality, but also what is going to bring in the most consistent amount of leads. Because when you have an online business, you need consistency, right? You need to have, you know, say 5-10 leads coming in every single day, and then you put them through a funnel. And that's where the second part comes in. So that's the sales and conversions, right? So there's many different ways to convert an online lead into a client. And there's like, you know, a webinar, you know, like what we're on right now, like an online presentation that can and clones your sales message. You can really show people how you can help them lose weight, build muscle, really just get them to their promised goal. And the other one is a sales phone call, you know, because one thing I came to realize is like, if I was going to make my online personal training program work, I had to go for the higher ticket, right? Because I had a certain income that I was used to making training people in person, and I was not going to devalue myself online and, you know, charge like, you know, $40-50 a month, because a lot of people say I do online coaching, but they charge pennies to train people. So, you know, I said, I want to go for having less clients and go for a higher price point. So what I decided to do was right out the bat, I charged 2 price points for my program that I continue to charge. One is a $1,000 package. The other is a $5,000 package. And what I do is a 6-month transformation. So it's an automated, highly leveraged type of transformation, but I focus on a higher ticket because I'd rather take people that are more committed, more serious, but at the same time, I could really scale my income up a lot faster, right? Because again, the more a person pays, the more they pay attention, because people don't take a $50 online program very seriously. So then I said, how can I convert a person who I've never met before, right? Because if you have a person walking into your gym or your boot camp, you're physically there with them. So it's a lot easier to like, you know, convert them into a client because you could, you know, do a body fat test, weigh them, you could touch them, and there's more interactive, there's more trust there. So I had to learn marketing from the point of view is how can I get a person who's never met me before, who just saw my Facebook ad, go into my funnel and then convert them into a higher ticket offer, right? So that was a challenge right there. But again, like anything in life, there's always a solution. It's trial and error, testing and tweaking. So I was able to develop a conversion mechanism that I could scale up and leverage that got a person who I've never met before from another country coming into my funnel. And let's say they come in, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, they're a 1 or a 2, they're ice cold. They have no idea who I am. And then by the end of the funnel, I got to get them to an 8, 9, or a 10. So I developed like a warm-up process to get them from cold to hot, to build up their desire so that I could sell them my $1,000 package and my $5,000 package. Once I got them signed up, then I put them through an online infrastructure. So I'll get into like the details because I know you're curious in terms of like how I coach people. I do a 6-month transformation. It uses like a variety of different things, like a automated, highly leveraged membership site. I use like different softwares, different apps, but I had to find a way to hold people accountable, because when you're training a person in person, obviously they're going to see you, they're going to basically hear you, you could touch them, and they're more obligated to come into your sessions. But with an internet-based program, you're going to never meet these people. And with me, I don't do Skype coaching, so I don't do like an interactive type of delivery. I have to automate this entire process. So then I went back to school. I got my master's degree in psychology, and I really wanted to learn the human mind and how do people develop behaviors and habits, and how can I make it very, very engaging. So I came across this great book, and it was discussing gamification. So gamification means that if you make anything a game, people are going to stick to it. So then I made my online program more of a game, where I develop daily accountability tactics and ways to measure the progress, but also ways to earn specific points. So as people are going through my program, they're earning points, and the more points they get, the healthier they become. So I made it fun, I made it engaging, but I made it extremely accountable, where I basically use different apps on mobile phones and so on and so forth that basically get people to monitor every aspect of their life. They're taking photos of their food, they're checking in when they work out, they're telling me how their day went, and everything goes into this virtual infrastructure that is scalable, right? So I have, currently 130 clients. I don't have to spend hours and hours each day checking emails, checking their points, doing all that stuff. I hire virtual assistants, and I have other people that help with the accountability aspect, right? Because they have their homework to do and they do it. And as long as they're good or bad, that's all I need to know. I don't have to like dissect every aspect of their programs. And I did it in a way where I could have a housewife who's never worked out, or a CrossFit elite athlete coming into my program, and they're all going to get great results because of the way I created the program, where once you go into it, you choose your own journey, So I really hope I didn't get a little too out there. I'm very passionate about this and talking about it, So I touched upon a lot of things. So I guess now's the time where I could engage and answer some questions in terms of like the how-to, I guess.
Yeah, we've got some questions coming through. So first and foremost, I think the first question that came up was the best software. What do you recommend? You mentioned that you use certain apps and software. Is that stuff that's available for people to buy into? Is there some way you can point them to, or is that stuff you've had developed?
So most of the software and apps I use are like low cost, and pretty much they're, you could easily implement them. I ended up developing a software really for my training business initially, and then it evolved into an online type of program. And I did it with a partner. The software is called Lean Buddy. And I found that in terms of the accountability, I wanted a software that basically gets people to stay accountable in terms of the food that they're eating, in terms of their workouts, and something that's easily accessible from their mobile phones. So that is what really helped me. If we have some time, I'll show you kind of like, the different systems I have on behind the scenes, like when a client comes in and they become coached by me. And really, it is based out of necessity, because like I said, I didn't want to get into a position where I was checking emails all day long, or checking meal plans, customizing it, having to do Skype phone calls. So I realized I wanted to like leverage my time and energy. Like I said, I have 130 clients, but I could coach them all in less than an hour a day. Well, I don't have to spend so much time and spend so much hours holding them accountable, because what I did was I created a 6-month automated process for my clients to follow. So I did it one time, and basically that's all I had to do. And that's a great thing about online coaching. You can leverage your time and expertise because you create these systems once. So let's say, for example, you want to teach a person to do a squat, right? So that's something you're going to do hundreds of times over and over again if you have a training studio or a boot camp. But with an online program, you do the squat once, you demonstrate in a specific way, you film it, you, let's say, put it on a workout sheet, and then you give it to your clients and they follow it on their own. So that already cans and clones your expertise. So you do that one time, you never have to do it again. So a lot of what an online personal training business does, it allows you to do things once and then to replicate it over and over again. So I found like, what are the best things that I do to get my clients results? And I turned that into an automated, replicated, duplicate model so people could follow along online.
Fabulous. And it works so well, doesn't it? We've built lots of systems for people to do exactly that, you know, so that they can get their clients moving through that process and give them that education and just replicate that information to them. So yeah, fabulous.
Yes. Yes.
It's the way it goes forward. You've sort of touched on this. Somebody asked if you got a particular niche, but you mentioned from a housewife to a super fit CrossFitter. So how do you make sure everybody gets that right program for them if there's such a variety of people coming in?
That's a great question. Earlier in the presentation, I was discussing direct response marketing. So there's two types of marketing. Direct response marketing is basically like an infomercial, right? So an infomercial airs and it's on for, let's say, an hour. And within an infomercial, you could see how long it's on for. You have a call to action. Call up this phone number and get the product. And every aspect of it could be tracked and tweaked. So let's say if it costs $500,000 for the infomercial to air and you make a profit of $700,000, then you know every time that infomercial airs, you make $200,000, right? So that is very trackable and tweakable. The other type of marketing is brand marketing. So let's say, for example, you have a Calvin Klein billboard in the middle of a city. That's brand marketing. So you see the billboard, but you can't tell how many pairs of jeans are sold from that billboard. Brand marketing works great for billion-dollar companies, McDonald's, Calvin Klein, Pepsi. But for small businesses, personal trainers, boot camp owners, that doesn't work. So what direct response marketing allows me to do is to use online metrics, offline metrics to basically have my marketing point to specific demographics and then have those demographics come back into my program. So here's a secret that I have with my online fitness coaching program. It is one generalized system. However, my marketing goes into different branches. So I have a specific marketing campaign for busy moms, right? So my ads only speak to busy moms. They only target busy moms. They basically go where busy moms are to get them back into my program. And the way that they're sold into it is basically toward their pains and their biggest needs, right? Then I have one for dads, right? So dads who are out of shape, who want to work out from home, who basically don't have time to go to the gym. I have one for brides, you know, so on and so forth. So I focus on different niches, and all branches lead to the same tree. So it goes to one universal program, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely, it does. And Daniel's asked us, you actually, not me at all, how do you make sure that clients are actually adhering to the program and performing the exercises with the correct technique and such like? So how are we keeping them safe and making sure they're doing it right?
Yeah, so, you know, that is a great question. I guess one way is basically, you know, it's an online program. Of course, you're not going to be able to like look over the person's shoulder in terms of every exercise they do. You can't correct their form. And I guess the online training attracts a certain type of person who I guess generally wants weight loss, and they generally want to just, you know, I guess have a more simplified program per se, you know? So pretty much what I do is I really sell it more of a nutritional type of coaching, more like specifically on accountability towards eating. Of course, I do workouts and cardio, but I guess to answer the question is like, it's very, very simplified and easy to follow. So I don't get too advanced with the movements, you know, it's more on people that are beginners or they have like higher amounts of weight to lose. And when I first started my online training, I went a little bit more on the advanced side. And I realized that one, I was not attracting the right people into my programs. And then two, I had a hard time people abiding by everything because it was very complex and it was just too complicated for them to follow. So then I really dumbed everything down. So let's say, for example, when a person goes into my online program, so they go on this 6-month journey And like in the beginning of it, it is like baby, small, tiny steps. So again, a lot of studying psychology and habit formation. If you get a person to do tiny, simple habits over time, you can increase the complexity and increase the adherence. So I've found over the years of trial and error and testing and tweaking my program, when a person comes in, it is like the easiest program they could follow, right? But they have options to make it more complicated if they want to. So let's say, you know, the first week is something like very, very easy, like take a 8-minute walk to do your cardio, you know, let's say eat 10% better than you normally do, you know, have some glasses of water, you know, take photos of your food and send it to me, you know, just like small little things like that. So over time, they build more confidence. They're like, wow, I could do this. This is no problem. And then it gets more and more challenging down the line. And yes, an online program has obviously some negatives where you can't be on top of someone watching their every form. But of course, at the same time, the majority of people that get online coaching, they want to work out from home. They want a simplified, easy to follow workout program. Most of the workouts are like body weight, so they're not doing like a clean and press or a deadlift, right? So it is also, like I said, who your target market is. If you're like a strength and conditioning coach, then you'll probably have a hard time getting online clients. But of course, like usually people that are, you know, doing strength and conditioning have to go to like a specific gym. And, you know, yes, there are people that are killing it in the niche of like strength and conditioning, but I don't focus on that. So I don't know how they do it exactly, but I do know like a lot of my colleagues that are online coaches, they'll have, let's say, those complicated exercises. Their clients film them. They're filming themselves in the gym doing it, or if they have a gym at home, they film themselves and then they send it through Skype, or they basically record it so a person watches their form and you know, corrects them. But hope that answers your question. For my demographic, let's say they're busy moms or busy dads, people that want to work out from home and do body weight stuff. I don't get so much into watching every single person's form and posture, so on and so forth.
Okay, fabulous. That's great. Thank you. Okay, after you mentioned that these are 6-month transformation programs. So what happens at the end of the 6 months? Do they start at the beginning again, or how do you progress them on so that you keep them and so that you retain them for life?
Yes, that is a great question. So one secret to like habit formation and gamifying a process is that if you get a person to do something for 6 months, it becomes a part of their lifestyle. It makes it fun. It's very engaging. So most of my clients, after the 6 months are over, drop down into a month-to-month program. So I do 197 month-to-month, and from that point on, they're still using the different softwares, the apps, and for the accountability. And, you know, I do a lot of surveying because I want to know what my clients like, what they don't like. And they said that the accountability and the gamification is the number one reason why they love the program and they stick to it. So a lot of people who has never had success in the gym or had success with a trainer go into my program, and basically they love it because, you know, the way that I sell it to them in a webinar or a sales presentation is that, listen, you know, you could go to a personal trainer, right? And that's like an hour a day or, you know, a couple of hours a week. They're on top of you. They're pushing you. They're inspiring you. But the moment you go home for those 23 hours, you're by yourself. You're not accountable. So my online program is 24/7 accountability. So I have all these softwares and apps that are looking over your shoulder, holding you accountable, giving you points, giving you daily challenges. And each day you're basically checking in. So even though it's an automated, highly leveraged program, I call it coaching because there's a two-way interaction. So when a person is going throughout their day, they have all these activities where they earn points, and it's like a game to them, and they feel a big connection that someone's looking over their shoulder, so they're more accountable. And as I mentioned, the more points they gain, the better they do. And people just love that. Like if you go on Facebook, half of Facebook is playing games. You get these annoying game invites, right? People are on their phones playing games all the time. So you're making their fitness and health a game, and they stick to the program. And after they're done, they want to continue staying in it.
Okay, fab. There's so many questions coming through. I'm losing them. It's amazing. I'm loving the interaction, guys. Thank you. So the next one from Sarah Jane, she's looking specifically for the name of the software you're using and the CRM systems that you use to manage your sales campaigns. So I think she wants that inside view on your inner secrets.
Yeah, no problem. You know, I can disclose some of it, of course. You know, definitely for Karen and Amy, I'll pull back the blinds a little bit. But I can't give everything away. You know, I have a proprietary formula. So, you know, the whole thing is that I have a system that I use to like generate leads, to convert clients, and to leverage them into my program. Then I have a course where it's an 8-week course that I teach my students everything. You know, so because people are paying for this information, I can't get so detailed with everything, but I'll give you a general idea. So pretty much you need something that's automated and something that has a lot of like triggers. So for example, like I use one shopping cart, right? And my students use like Aweber or GetResponse. Those are like email follow-ups and automated systems. And the whole thing is what I do is I have a specific pattern that I set up my online training program to make it a fun game and to basically get people to then have like specific times and dates that things get sent to them, right? So it's text messages and emails that's automated to them, and they feel like a coach is looking over their shoulder, but the only thing the coach is doing is checking their homework, if that makes sense. So pretty much what I do is I have all these different templates that I give to my students, and I tell them what softwares to get, and then they add their own nutritional information, their own exercise philosophy, because I have my own philosophy, but every trainer, every health coach has their own. So I have them plug it in to the different areas. So you could use like a bunch of different types of CRMs. You know, some of my clients use Infusionsoft. You know, they use like different pages like Lead Pages or ClickFunnels. But at the end of the day, it's some type of like automated system. So if you have like Aweber, Constant Contact, GetResponse, any of the main ones, then you could take my template and put it into your program and then just add your own exercise and nutritional and mindset activities. You kind of like plug and play it into the appropriate places. A lot of stuff's done for you. And then from that point on, you have this business up and running for yourself, because it's like what I found is like just the whole, I guess, system of it. Once you put that in play, that's what kind of makes like boundaries for the clients. But then you plug in your own information in the appropriate places to basically serve them with whatever your philosophy is.
Fabulous. Steve's asked, what are the 3 actionable steps for setting up an online coaching business?
Okay, well, the 3 actionable steps, very, very simple. One is, you know, you got to get a lead generation system. So you have to have a automated marketing funnel that brings in leads consistently, you know, whether it is, like I said, Facebook, paid traffic, LinkedIn, Google pay-per-click, YouTube ads, you know, a lot of stuff I teach to my students, you know, because if you're not well versed in this, it could take a lot of like, you know, trial and error to get this right. But what I do for my students is I give away a lot of proven ad templates, a lot of just, you know, copy and paste with the photos and text that converts very high, because this is a business that I run every single day, but you have to have your lead generation set up. If you don't have that, like I said, it's a bit of a learning curve, but you want to get leads coming in on a consistent basis. The second actionable thing is you have to have some type of conversion mechanism. If you're an amazing writer, you know, you could have like a website with like just really compelling copy that a person just sees how amazing and awesome you are and how much you could solve their problems. They could buy off the website. You know, if you're not that great at writing and you're more of a video person, then you can make like a video series or a webinar, right, where you're basically sharing your whole sales presentation in a more interactive way, and you're getting people to buy from you like that, right? If you're not techie at all, like me, I'm a technical dunce, you know, so like I first started off doing sales calls. So understanding a sales process. How are you going to sell these consistent leads that are coming in, you know? So what I do, and I teach my students this, is a specific sales process. Like I said, a person who's never known you before, coming from a different country, coming into your marketing funnel, how can you warm them up and get them hot for desire to want to buy? And then from that point on, you get them to become the customer at a higher ticket. Because I teach my students how to sell at a higher ticket rate, $1,000 and up, because you have less clients to deal with, but it's more of a coaching type of relationship. And, you know, if you're already good at sales, that is very good, but it's a different type of sales, right? Because like I said, selling in person is very easy. That's like one of like the easiest way of sales. But selling over the phone is a bit harder, you know, and then selling on a webinar is even another level. Selling on a static web page is the hardest. So there's different levels of sales, but it's getting really good in that process, you know, and that's a lot of what I help my students with, is making that process a lot easier. Just give them my sales scripts, and over time, you're going to find that the converting and the sales, that's going to be the biggest part of your business. Because once you have automated leads that are coming in, 10, 20 leads coming into your funnel, then it's like, how can I sell my program? If I want to sell, let's say 4 to 5 6-month programs every week, you have to have that part systematized, right? So I have a saleswoman. She works as a commission base, and basically she gets 20% of each sale, whether it's $1,000 or $5,000 sale. She does not get paid unless she closes the sale. So I train her in my sales process, and I give her like the sales scripts and the warm-up process. And it's the same thing that I do for my students. I recommend them getting a salesperson if they don't want to do the sales, because that even takes up a lot of time as well. But that way, the people go into your funnel and they're converted. So like I said, there's a lot of different ways to convert them. You have to find what works best with your personality. If you're a natural salesman, do it yourself. If not, you could hire a commission-based person, just funnel them leads. Because when you get leads online, if you do it the right way, you get them for like, less than $1. So if you get leads for less than $1, you could have like 2 or 3 weeks of marketing and not close a sale. But on the third week, close a $1,000 package, and you're still very profitable. So the great thing about an online fitness coaching business is a very high profit margin, because you're not paying that much for a gym or an overhead. So you could lose a lot on marketing, but every time you close a high ticket package, you end up earning a lot more down the road. So there's a lot of room for error when you're first starting out. And the third step is, how are you going to leverage yourself in a systematic way? Like I said, for my students, I offer like the actual 6-month infrastructure. So I just have them where they just put themselves into this pattern, and I coach them on how to develop it for themselves. But at the end of the day, they just have one link that they send to their clients, and their clients pay them the money to click on the link, and they go in this 6-month automated process. So you have to find out like what you're doing in person that is like your superpower, right? So all of us has a superpower, right? Whether it's our nutrition, whether it's our training, there's a reason why clients pay us money. So how can you take that superpower and then leverage it into a technology or a way that you could do it over and over and over again without your time and energy? And once you're able to do that, then you have your business finished. So it's getting a lead generation system set up, a conversion system set up, and then how to get those leads and how to serve them in a way that they're getting results and they're held accountable. Because I built my business, for about 5 years, mastering it, going through the in and outs of it. So I'm happy to say that I have a less than 3% refund rate of people that go into my program, because I constantly survey. I see what they like. I see what they don't like. When a person drops off, I would have, my administrator call them up and why they wanted to drop off. And then I found how to improve my program, So like I said, there's a lot of trial and error when you're first starting out. You could do it that way, or you could do a faster way. Like I said, take a proven method and implement that. But as long as you get those 3 systems dialed in, you're going to have a successful online fitness business.
James asks, actually, what do you do with clients who don't get results, or who lie or cheat the system, or I guess those, people who want a refund? Do you just kind of dish it out and say thanks and on your way, or how does that work?
That is a great question. First and foremost, it starts with them coming into your funnel, because I'm focused on a more higher end program compared to like other online personal trainers. That some people that have like a membership site, they charge like, 30 pounds a month to be in their membership site. So they're focused on volume. So for them, they could care less about the people getting results. They're just about the numbers, So there's maybe like, I would say less than 10% of people who stick to that membership site and do their own thing. So I focus on a higher ticket, 1,000 to 5,000. So because I have good lead generation systems, the leads go through a warm-up process, but they also go through an application process. So I make sure that because I have people that are lined up wanting to get into my program, because I have good marketing that makes them desire it, I only pick people that are action takers, that are basically more joys to work with, because there's a coaching element there, right? Because I have like, let's say, a virtual assistant who's, there to coach them, to keep them accountable. So I want their job to be easy too. So I make sure that I get the right fits to come in. And when you have good marketing, you attract the right fits and repel the wrong fits, right? Second thing is you have a higher price point. The more a person pays, the more they pay attention. I can't explain this enough. Typically, you're going to have people that take the program a lot more seriously. Sure, there's going to be people that, obviously don't take action, that don't follow through with the program, But one of the things I've come to find is I focus more on a paid in full. I really don't offer a monthly option, because I found people that do more paid in full are highly committed and they take more action with it, And also because the years of trial and error of people trying to screw me over, or they sign up for the program, then they want to quit, or they all of a sudden, disappear, because with an online person, you don't see them every week. So they could just take all your content, copy and paste it, and disappear. I have very strong liability forms and contracts that they sign into in different ways to make them stick into the agreement that we have. So like I said, a lot of it is selecting the right people and then funneling them in to know that these are the rules, and this is a higher price program, so you're expected to take more results. And because it's coaching, you're going to have higher results and retention. A lot of the stuff, like I said, I've learned the hard way, because I got screwed over by so many people. Because it's an online program, people could take advantage of it, right? They'll take all your content and disappear. You can't do anything about it. So I've learned how to do it in a way where you come off that it's an agreement, there's contracts, there's legalities. And this is a lot of stuff that I give to my students as well. I allow them to use all my contracts, my liability forms. So they pretty much just use the same templates for themselves. But if you have that in your program, you'll have obviously a more committed person. If you repel the wrong fits, you'll attract more of the right fits, and then you'll have a higher chance of success because of the higher price point, if that makes sense. Because you have less clients to deal with, as opposed to, a 30-pound a month program, and you're having all these clients that you can't keep track of.
Mm-hmm. And do your clients, when they come into your program, do they get their own members area where they can become friends and build a tribe between themselves? Do you encourage that kind of community?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So again, with the gamification and the behavior, where you have people that are in groups and they kind of like could link up with other people that are on the same journey, they end up helping each other out. They end up encouraging each other. And again, the main goal of this program is to leverage your time and expertise, because you want to have more freedom and more time to yourself. So when you have an amazing, hand-selected group of people that are positive, that are encouraging, they're not negative Nancy's, they're not toxic, they tend to bond and they form this online tribe that they go through this journey together. So absolutely, because the main objective, I said, is to get them results, right? So people in a group together, and they're both competing in a friendly way to earn more points and to become better on the process. But at the same time, they don't feel alone. There's other people doing the same program. They tend to encourage each other. But as your job as a fitness professional, you don't have to micromanage as much, right? Because sometimes there's a question about the program that comes up. So other members chime in and they answer it for you, as opposed to you having to answer a specific question, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Karen's asked, what's the difference between the $1,000 program and the $5,000 program? So how do you differentiate between those two options?
Absolutely. So pretty much the $1,000 program's an automated 6-month journey, and it is zero type of like phone or Skype time. And then for the $5,000, I hired a virtual coach who's, is basically a personal trainer and understands nutrition. And then twice a month, they do a 30-minute Skype call for the people that are willing to pay a higher package. Because I found that there's a certain amount of people that are going to pay extra to get human interaction. So I have someone who goes in and does those twice a month calls for people that want to pay a higher price program.
Okay,
but
fabulous.
They still go through that same 6-month automated process, Yeah,
excuse me, sorry, they get a bit right. So I'm guessing they're doing measurements and weights and things themselves as well, and posting that and sharing that with you or their tribe members, yeah?
Yes. So, the software that I created and a lot of other tools that I use, their technology is amazing nowadays, So like if I would have started this business 5 or 10 years ago, there's no way I would have made it successful, because we didn't have the technology we have today. So I've created like a list of like different apps different softwares that do everything for you. And basically what I do is like I sign up a client, whether they pay $1,000 or $5,000, I send them a link. And once they get a link, it automatically triggers off all these different apps and softwares that are sent to them, and basically does the job for you. So that's an amazing thing with technology, because right now is the best time to get into online personal training, because we have all these different tools that make your job a lot easier, that do the measurements and the weights and keeps track of all those things. But also another great thing is that every year, 500 million people go onto the internet all around the world. So that is really a big change, because you hear more and more people signing up for online personal training, getting online coaching. It's not something that's like a mystery, right? So by the year 2018, the entire Earth's population is going to have internet access. So all these people from different worlds, you know, they'll see you, who's a fitness professional, they'll see you as like a celebrity, because they don't have people like that locally. So that's one of the greatest things about this business model, is that, you know, you're not just going for your local area, because in your local area, there might be people that can't afford to pay $1,000 or $5,000 for your services. But through good marketing, you could target people that are right fits, who are really able to financially obligate to your programs, that have the time, have the energy, and they're willing to pay a higher price point to get better results. So that is a great thing of using this beautiful thing called the internet to leverage your time and grow your business, because now there's so much tools and metrics to make your job a lot easier.
Fantastic. One more question from Steve. He said, if we're aiming for less clients for more cash, would you recommend a meeting in person to help build trust and secure that sale?
I mean, you could do that, you know, like pretty much, like, I guess one of the reasons why I created this business model is so I don't have to report anywhere, you know? So, I mean, I just got really burnt out, you know, for 12 years. I was getting up at 5 a.m., working at 10 p.m., you know, for a 10-year period, I never went on vacation. I would go to like, you know, masterminds or like weekend conferences, and I'm going away for 2 days, but it was not just sitting on a beach and doing nothing, you know? So now, thankfully, I built a business model where I could just work from my laptop and a phone. Every month I go away for 5 days, and I just make it a point to not have to show up anywhere. You know, I haven't had to use an alarm clock in years, because I want to have the freedom and time. So in my personal opinion, if I were to have one of my students, you know, meet people in person to sell them and take a higher price point, that could become a limiting belief, right? That could become like, okay, I could only get this much money if I see a person in person. And that could limit your mindset. But if you could say, how can I develop better systems to get more, let's say, affluent leads, to get better qualified people into my program, to have a better warm-up, have a better type of conversion process, so it's more automated, I don't have to see them in person. So like I said, I feel like that's like a limitation, because at the same time, you meet a person in person and they say to you, like, okay, it was really cool, and I just paid you, you know, 5,000 pounds for your program. Do you think it's cool if like once a month you could train me in this gym too, you know? And then what are you going to say? You're probably going to say yes, because you're putting yourself in a bad situation. So when you have your marketing and your systems working correctly, you don't have to see people in person, you know? I started a podcast, and it's going to be going live pretty soon. And it's a podcast where I interview millionaire online fitness coaches. So literally ones that make 100,000 a month or more. There's online personal trainers who make 7 figures a month, right? Mm-hmm. So it goes to show you that sometimes we think that if we charge a higher price point, that we have to see people in person or do a more aggressive sales process. And they share a lot of what they do. It's all internet based. So they're commanding. I had a guy who I interviewed yesterday who basically charges $100,000, $8,000 a month for his online fitness coaching, and he never sees the people in person. So sometimes you'll realize that if you have the right systems in place, you can command higher price points, but you don't have to see people in person, if that makes sense.
And it's great that you touched upon the limiting beliefs as well, because I think that's what holds a lot of people back from charging the higher prices, isn't it? It's totally what's going on in your own head, that rather than whether or not the market can actually handle it.
No, definitely.
Yeah, fabulous. There's no more questions come through just at the moment. I just wondered if you wanted to introduce, you've got another webinar that the guys can get involved on where you're kind of going to deep dive into some of this stuff.
Yes.
So
Yes, no, thank you for pointing that
I'm
out.
going to pop the link to that in for you guys. So if you do want to get more of AJ, then there's an offer in there to get on the webinar and hear more.
Yes, no, thank you, Amy. You know, a lot of the stuff that I'm sharing with you is technology based, so it's difficult for me to like paint a picture right here in person. So I did a hour-long webinar presentation. I have nothing to sell on there. It's purely educational, and what I do is actually show my systems, right? So I show you how I get targeted clients through the internet at a very low price. I show you how I convert them. I show you my sales process using webinars, using a sales script on how I get them to pay $1,000, $5,000, but also show you my virtual infrastructure. I share with you all the screens, all the websites I use, all the tools that I use, and then the entire process is, it's like I said, information based. So if you watch my webinar, a lot of the things that I'm saying are going to make sense because I can only do so much with my hands and with my mouth, right? So when you watch a webinar, I actually share my screens. It's like I said, it's all information. I'm not selling anything on the webinar, but you watch it. A lot of the things that I say are going to come to life, and you're like, oh, that's how he does it. That's why he does it. And I also share how I got over my limiting beliefs, you know, because I was very broke and I was really charging, you know, here in the US, $30 an hour when I first started as a personal trainer. So how did I go from charging $30 an hour to charging $5,000 to a package to a person I'd never seen before? So I go into the process where I got over my limiting beliefs, became more confident, and charge a higher price point. But also, how can you not have to trade hours for dollars? Whether you want to build a side business with online personal training or do like I did and, you know, use it as your main income source, it is very doable. And now is the best time to do it. And when you see my webinar, you'll see like literally in the next 30 days, you can start your business because a lot of the stuff that I share with there, you can implement very quickly, you know, because if you're already doing some type of marketing, now it's just making a slight shift and adding an online element to it. So I guess you're going to share the link, but basically it is a LifeFuelFit/PT, P as in Paul, T as in Tom. And I also have a new blog and website and podcast called it's called OnlineSuperCoach.com, and it's going to be launching soon. It's where I interview millionaire online personal trainers and coaches. I have a lot of friends and colleagues who just do online coaching, and they share all their strategies. They share how they get their clients. And the big thing I want to do within this webinar and my website and my podcast is to show people perspective, to see that there's this whole different world of people that are charging incredible prices, high ticket for their fitness, for their nutrition, and they have tons of clients. And how do they do it? Because they have systems. Once you put the systems in play, then the whole business model comes to life. Because once you have a lead system, a sales system, and a delivery system that's highly scalable, you can build this business as big as you want. And for anyone who wants to connect with me on Facebook, I'm very accessible. It's Facebook.com/AJFit, AJFIT. Add me on Facebook, send me a message. Of course, Amy and Karen were kind enough to allow me to talk here, but I don't get to hear what you're saying. You know, so if you want to jump on a call, or you want to get more clarity, you know, it's better you watch my webinar to kind of get an idea, and then we can jump on a call and I'll happily guide you in the right direction.
You are amazing, AJ. So, Kelly just asked one last question. Do you need to have a following before you sell?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That is a great question, because a lot of what I teach my students is cold traffic, right? So there's other people that teach how to build an online personal training business, how to do online coaching, and it's a very long process. Start a blog, you know, start a private Facebook group. You know, it's very organic, sure, and you could do it, but it's going to take a lot longer. So I teach the fastest way possible using targeted cold traffic. So how can you get, let's say, a Facebook ad, a Google ad, a LinkedIn ad? You know, you're paying less than $1 per lead. to get that cold traffic to go through your funnel. You pitch them a high ticket offer, convert them into a client, and put them into your virtual infrastructure. So you don't need to even have an email list. You don't need to have a blog or a following. You don't even have to be like this established celebrity trainer. A lot of the people that I interview on my $1 million online personal training show, you've never heard of them before. They're nobodies, but they make, like I said, $100,000 or more with their online businesses. They don't have big followings. You'll even go to their Facebook page and be like, this guy makes that much money. This woman has this incredible business. Is because they have systems in play. And if you have a really targeted system, you get a cold lead who has no idea who you are from a different part of the world, warm them up and convert them into a high ticket client, and then deliver them a package. So very quickly you can become profitable. And that's what I teach to my students, because once you have the systems and the templates and the proven techniques, very quickly you could grow a profitable business. And the great thing, like I said, this is a very high profit business, very low cost. Most things are virtual, low expenses, no overhead. So you could get your business up and running very quickly.
That's amazing. Okay, fabulous. Is there anything you want to share with us that you haven't had the opportunity to share, AJ? Is there anything else you think we desperately need to remember from tonight? There's so much. I'm so inspired,
I'm just like really passionate about this material. And I just thank you, Amy and Karen, and for everyone on here for allowing me to share the stuff that I'm passionate about. I'm very transparent, as you can see. I just like to share like what has helped me, because I guess when I was overweight most of my life and I got into shape and I became a fitness professional, that is a pain I wanted to heal, right? I want to help overweight people have more confidence, not be insecure about their bodies. And then over time, working as a personal trainer, working from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m., never taking vacations, trading hours for dollars, getting burnt out, I went through a lot of pain. So because I went through that pain, now I want to help other people heal the pain of having a business that takes away their freedom, that takes away time from their families, their health, and their pursuits, and show them that there's a better way. You have skills and abilities that you can leverage, that you can now take to the masses and not have to serve people in your local area, serve people all around the world and make a big impact, because we're all in this business and life to change the world, to make a positive impact before we die. So having an online business allows you to leverage your time and expertise and help more people than you're currently doing, because we have the technology. People are now jumping on the internet. They're using online to help solve their problems. So once you have a great system, you'll be able to work less than you're doing now, but also serve more people and have a bigger impact throughout your lifetime.
Amazing. AJ, can I pinch a few minutes off the end of your webinar to let the guys know about VIP? Do you mind?
No, of course. I would love to hear about VIP.
That's amazing. So we've got a whole mix of people in the room tonight. Some are our VIP members already, and some are not. So if you want to throw a comment in the chat window, if you're a VIP member, about how awesome we are, then you can do. That's fine. For VIP members, a copy of this recording will be available on the website tomorrow, as it is always after our weekly webinars. We do this every week, AJ. I have to say, not as amazingly as this. Yours is particularly good webinar. But we do have a weekly webinar every Wednesday, because we want to focus on growing the business of the people that are in our group. And we follow that on a Thursday with a weekly accountability group call. And that's to make sure that we actually make stuff happen. And I know tomorrow's call is going to be absolutely buzzing after today. So that'll be fantastic. Anybody who does want to join VIPs, I'm going to just pop the link to that in the window now, so you guys can jump in and discover more about VIPs and how to get involved and stay involved. And for anybody that signs up today before the link expires, I'm actually going to offer a free Skype call as well. So, by being on this webinar tonight, you could end up with a free Skype call with AJ, a free Skype call with myself or Karen. So you're going to do some serious damage to your business, I think. We're going to be making some big changes for people tonight, and that's amazing. Because that's why Karen and I got into doing this in the first place. You know, you mentioned, AJ, when you started, there are loads of people out there doing marketing and fitness marketing. And Karen and I are both from marketing backgrounds, and just thought, you know, what better use could we put that to than to help people change the world and help people get fitter and healthier and change the world that way. So that's why we do this. And it's an honor to share that with somebody like yourself who's been through that journey, and who knows how important it is to keep that going. So we have our own community that you've been involved with, AJ, in the Facebook group.
I love it. Yeah, Block the Bitch. Yeah. Yeah, you guys do such a great job of providing content that people charge thousands of dollars for free. And, you know, it's amazing that you guys could do that.
Yeah, it's incredible. And the stuff that goes in VIP is even more tailored and even more supported, and, you know, still at a fantastic rate, really, for people to be able to access it. Because we're aware that, you know, there are PTs out there that are struggling, like you mentioned. You know, you get burnt out and knackered and you're training all the time and you've still got no money to pay the bills at the end of the month.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're the people we really want to reach out to and help, as well as the people that are being successful. And so we wanted to make Block the Bitch accessible, which is hopefully what we've done. So
yeah,
that's fabulous. AJ, it has been an inspiration.
I really enjoyed this. It was an honor being here, and you know, you and Karen are awesome, and just everyone here. I'm just reading like the questions and the comments, and it's such a good, supportive group. You know, I don't read any negative stuff here. Nobody's cursing me out, so I'm pretty happy. Yeah.
Man crush on AJ's mind is my favorite comment of the night, I think. Definitely love that. Well, you know, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day over there, over the pond. I hope it's fantastic for you and you go on to change the lives of many more people. I'm sure you will. And I hope the guys on the call take the opportunity to connect with you on Facebook as well, because I think that would be fantastic for them.
Yeah, connect with me on Facebook. Check out my webinar. And of course, I'll see you guys in Block the Bitch. So yeah, I look forward to that. Connecting with you guys on the level.
Loads of love coming in for you, so we'll leave it on a positive and leave it there for tonight. Thanks ever so much, AJ.
Thank you.
All right, all the best. Take care.
Take care.
Bye.